Live. One,
Are
two,
we live?
live.
Cool, we are live. I cannot see us in the YouTube, but yeah, okay, I see. We have like 4 people watching. That's great. That's great because that's much better than what we could like expect during this holiday time. But that happens. Yeah, I think so we are live. We should still a little bit wait for some board members to arrive because I understand that it's a little bit hard to get everyone
Yes, at least
back
Oliver
to
and
business.
Katla.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So there are 4 of us. That's something I have learned in the European Parliament. If you arrange a meeting at some certain time, it does not start sharp. It always starts like quarter hour late. Like that's kind of like common. All the international institutions, so they work that way. That's really funny.
Yeah, it seems like the academic quarter, the academic
Absolutely.
quarter. Do you remember? I had to Google it why we have, but not only in Italy. I realized that even in Germany, probably even in Czech Republic, you have the academic quarter, haven't you?
Yeah, and it's called the same way actually. So I think it is kind of like international, but I was really surprised that actually in the European Parliament, like all the meetings are kind of like quarter hour shifted. It's just like it works that way. So
yeah, but the reason I found out on Wikipedia is just that. In ancient time, when university were just came up in Italy, Sweden, and Germany, they don't have, of course, they don't have watches, and they are waiting for the bells, and bells rings at every quarter. So you see, so you wait until the next bell. That's why you have the academic quarter.
now it makes sense. Yeah, it was at the time.
At least, yeah.
That's actually an interesting case of open data in the medieval time, or like the start of the modern ages, because like originally it was kind of like not common to know what's the time. And actually, when the municipalities started to build those towers with bells and watches, it was actually the very first case of like open data being shared for people to participate. I've never thought about it, but just like a friend from the Czech Parliament, he told me, and I was like, yeah, that's a cool idea. Actually, it makes sense, yeah, because like it really increased administrative efficiency for all the people in the city. So, yeah, it's quite old idea of open data, isn't it?
That's true, absolutely. Maybe the first open data ever invented, right?
I would say so. Or actually, when I'm thinking about it, lighthouses were also a case of open data.
Yeah.
Like it was open data for navigation.
That's true, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me see in our chat.
In our chat, do we have someone in the chat?
Yeah. We are precisely 15 minutes after the bell. Do we have any pad, Miklos?
Yes, we have it. It's to the. Facebook event, but I sent it to the board chat as well.
Thank you.
So it's there.
Okay, thank you very much. So
Okay.
it was opened around. No, actually, yeah, open around. Let's remove the participant.
Well, yeah. Okay. Well, I think we will have to admit that it's probably not likely that there will be many board members today, because
Yeah.
I know it is hard at the beginning of holidays, at the beginning of July. Like now we are fighting the biggest uphill fight for participation. So yeah, I would consider the others to be excused, because it really makes no sense to make some case about it. And let's just go the stuff that has to be solved. I hope Oliver and Katla will join us as they announced. And we will, of course, make no formal decisions. So
yeah, of course.
I think it should be announced here. Meeting takes no formal decisions, as a majority of the board members were not present. Yeah, that's okay. Okay. Regarding the agenda, I think it will be kind of like fast. I would just do short overview whether we have something we need to do in our teams, or some problems that the teams faced. I have some proposal regarding the web.
Yeah.
That's obviously something we could start discussing at least.
Sure.
I would love to do the to talk a little bit about the registration of the party, but again, like, we need more board members to solve the issue. Yay, and how to deal with PPs who didn't pay till 2019 invoices. Yeah, it's a little bit another problem we should solve, but like, we need more people to.
Of course.
To participate.
So next time I will, when we copy and paste, at least we can see that we have this in target. It's not any. It's not a very urgent decision, because if we plan to have hopefully our on-site meeting in November, we will be plenty of time. But actually, this time, after we reduce the membership fee, since €300 until 50, actually, basically, I suppose that all of the party could afford this. The problem is that probably the only one that couldn't afford it last year, it's still strange, because maybe they can pay this year, but they couldn't, for the same reason they couldn't afford it last year, maybe they cannot this year. So in such a way, I would like to see if there is a common, or at least we can accept, for instance, that let's say that the other parties that has dramatically reduced the fee can just provide this fee for the remaining parties, so everyone can join and vote on the next one. You see, for instance, right now, imagine I can make this proposal to the Pirate Party of Italy. That we say, Now that we have, it's like having, a collective budget, for those who cannot afford this last year. I don't know.
Well, I would be a bit reluctant to take money from one party to the other party. Should there be parties who would have a problem to pay their fees for 2019, but they would be willing to pay fees for 2020 because of the price, I would maybe discuss that on the individual base. Like I think they can all have kind of like, or they can all request kind of like discount or postponement, I would say. I can imagine that the party from, I don't know, Eastern Temptaria will request us to, let's say, pay 50 euros now and leave this another 250 as a debt for future when they get elected and receive state funding, let's say in 10 years or something like that. I don't know, would be a solution from. Hello, Exile. Great to see you.
Hello, Nicolas. Hello, Alessandro.
Hello, Exile.
You just increased the participation in the beginning of holidays. In the participation within the PPU board of 50%. So, like, great contribution, by the way.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Do you have a pet from the board's channel?
Just wait. You mean the YouTube channel?
Well, in the board channel in Mattermost, I sent a link to the pad where we started collecting the agenda we would like to discuss.
Yeah.
It's actually like, as we have acknowledged that probably not many people will come, we will take no formal decisions, so it is really just to discuss things that needs kind of like feedback from the other members, but let's take no formal decisions and postpone that for the time when we have more people present. And by the way, thank you very much for coming last time. I was not able to come, but I have heard that you have been here and participated to the meeting. Yeah. So there are some things I would like to discuss. It's the agenda. It's on line 27. If you look there.
Yeah.
I don't know whether there is more we should discuss, or we can go through these things.
Well, we can. It's not push to talk. You can hear me without this, no? Well, in other business, let it a little bit open. We can surely have some short brainstorming about certain things, but in principle, it's just a short agenda as far as I see.
Okay, good. So, well, how to deal with the parties who have not paid invoices, I will put as a separate point here, and then we will leave the other business open for any other business, if you don't mind. See, Pirates on Air are being transmitting that. Thanks for spreading the word, Bastian and Pirates on Air.
So, Mikuláš, would you like to start?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, reports from the teams. I guess only the people who are working on the infrastructure stuffs are here. Are actually, yeah. Also, we can discuss the state of projects. Regarding the infrastructure, I tried to deploy Matamo on our WordPress web. That was one of the things we have discussed in, I think, May. However, it does not really work well. So it brought me again to the idea of kind of like improving our main web page. Because as you probably know, it's currently being run on WordPress, and that has certain limitations. Like, for example, whatever you want to change there, you are dependent of what kind of widgets are available in the template and what the template does allow you, and so on. Which is great, and there are some limitations. And yeah. A part of those limitations, what can you show there? It is also like dependent of the architecture. Like, I don't know, Alessandro, you probably know it. I don't know whether you are aware of that, Exile. Effectively, like WordPress, it's really like dynamic web, showing the content which is rendered from based on what you have in the database. And that has actually a problem that, well, it's not that secure as you would have a simple static web, like really just the code that would be rendered. And yeah, a part of that, sometimes with the WordPress, you can have the issues of being overloaded, because at the end you host it on some server, and yeah, it can be overloaded. So I was considering the solution we are using in the European Parliament, like for the web pages of MEPs. It was quite like often used by Czech Pirate Party, and that's kind of like using a static block. So I asked our people to create, let's say, lector block based on the data we currently have. They kind of like just effectively copy pasted what was in the WordPress, and now I'm sending to you this testing instance to the word chat. So there it is, kind of like running test instance of what we have. Actually, there are some older blocks. The newer one can be added as well, because we have a script that can download WordPress pages and transfer that to a lector block. And what would be my idea in, let's say, next weeks would be basically let's create GitHub pages using this lector block, so that we are no longer so that we don't no longer need to really like host the block on our own, and would just rather do it on someone who has a lot of resources to do so. So there will be no like overloading. So that's basically the idea. So I would like to finish this one, because it's a little bit not yet perfect, and then deploy it. I don't know what you think about it.
If I can say a word, actually this is the same structure that we are used to use in PPIT for the WordPress website we have. That is actually, we have let's say we use the WordPress for the backend and for the editorial purposes in a little server, and then we have a plugin that just render all the pages statically, and then we just push it in GitHub, and Microsoft did the rest.
Well, yeah, that's part of the trick. But I would like to not to rely on what the WordPress can render. I send it to this link to a repository, and effectively like what works for us, that we really like change the code in repository, and then like you can administrate it as any like open source software repository code repository. Yeah, like because I would like to have a simple option. I would like to have a simple option to change the template if needed, because if you look on our existing page, we have, for example, impossible. There is no possibility to create a pagination. Simply, you can see the older post because you cannot just go for the pages after the first one. And that's a feature of the template I have never found a way how to bypass. While like would we not be relying on the template, and would we like create the page on our own, it would be kind of like easier to edit there, or any other, I don't know, like banner or whatsoever would be there. I would like, for example, to add in future some map, like map of Europe, where there would be like clickable countries, and those country buttons would kind of like link to our member parties. That would be super to have somewhere in the web presentation. However, I cannot simply change the web presentation because the WordPress template does not allow me. If you understand what's the problem.
Yeah, I perfectly understand. I just missed probably the point. If you want to replace also WordPress as an editor, as a CMS, or you want to keep it?
I would like to replace it. I would like to replace it because if you look to the repository I sent you a link to, there are effectively like for each post there is a folder, and the folder contains a markdown file which consists of the content. So you effectively, whatever you want to write there, you write it in markdown, and that's it. I think I can show you how it looks.
No, I got it. I got it.
You got it.
Anyway, yeah. If you can, if you want to show, just feel free.
From my side, technical stuff, I don't have a clue. I'm trying to understand you, Nicholas. Halfway, I think I did.
Of course, I second the idea of creating a static version of the website for many reasons. I personally don't have any particular things to be in favor or against WordPress abandoning. So I can second also the markdown approach is totally fine. Probably has more advantages than disadvantages. So.
Well, I believe that people are capable to work with Markdown, and effectively, like it's much easier to administrate the page, because then it means that effectively everyone can start pull request to add a new content to the page. And being an administrator means you are just approving merging of those two branches together. So effectively, like you don't need any special accounts in that system. You just need an account in GitHub. That's the trick.
Yeah, for sure.
which I believe like quite like simplifies the whole process, because you just need you effectively like can say everyone in the world, please fork the repository, create your own branch, propose the pull request, and some of the administrators either say yes or no to merge it, and that's it. Why? Which I think kind of like we kind of like miss, because we always try to find out someone who will be willing to write an article over there and do all the formatting and so on, which does not really take too much time, but still you rely on those people who are in charge of that system, while having an opportunity to be done by everyone and then just accepted by the administrators. I think it would be much better for the participation. Okay, so
Okay.
I think if you don't mind, I will try to finish this thing, so that we will have it as GitHub pages somewhere, and next time after the I would say after the summer, we can have a discussion about like the final migration with the rest of the board when it will be like prepared.
Sure. I will send you my GitHub account, so maybe I can join the party.
Yeah,
you
that
want.
would be great. I can make you an administrator. Like there is a GitHub organization or
Yeah.
I don't know how is it called, the organization for which is PPEU. I think we have not many data stored for there, but yeah, at least for this purpose, it would be meaningful.
Okay, thanks.
That's okay.
What was that? Ah, hello, Katla.
Katla.
Welcome, Katla.
Are you there, Katla? Give us a sign.
I am. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Fine.
Good.
In the channel, in the board channel of Mattermost, we spread a link. Nicolas just posted the link for this short board meeting. So can I just give you an update about our ECI initiative? A little one, really a little one.
Yes, of course.
We're just now growing the network. As I can, we're just getting our first financial found money from Wikimedia Italia. Not that much, but they will approve probably 1,000 euro. That it will incredible move us forward from 0 to 1,000 euro. You know, so it will be a great increase, and we would like, and also our we have just running meetings every 10 days. We're trying to keep us posted. We're trying to set up all the channels for this initiative. We're just preparing everything to be ready probably next October when we will launch the campaign. Launching date is not is still not defined yet, and also the software for signatures, for collecting signature. We are still humbling if the open ECI software is better or not from the software that it comes from the European community. There are pros and cons. We're just discussing about it. But we're moving and growing. So the community is growing up, and we have ideas. We have pirates from France, from Germany involved. So non-pirates from Finland, from Italy, from many countries. So we're just building the network, and then as soon as we have some money, we can just invest them to crowdfunding and to have some, at least a couple of people. We would like to hire a couple of people, to have a couple of people dedicated to this. I mean, on a daily basis, you know, workers, not only volunteers.
Okay. Well, if I understand it properly, what is expected from PPEU is actually sending or like publishing all the campaign as it is prepared to the world. Am I correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Which will then happen in October, or like how did I maybe missed that?
The preparing material should be done before October. All the campaign, all the graphic stuff, design stuff, logos, and so on. You know, everything that could be used should be prepared in advance when we start campaigning, because we know and we know and we realize that most of signatures will be collected in the very first part of after the campaign is started, and not in the very end. So probably, even if it's 1 year long, it would be better to be prepared just when we start. But after we just follow up a suggestion from Gregory, and we would like that the campaign will end after September next year, September 2021, because of the major elections big elections also in Germany. Of course, it's 1 year, and 1 year, you know, in 1 year, the most probably the most we don't know actually, because it's our first time, but we have a lot of key points. For instance, spring, summer, and even October itself when you start campaigning. But anyway, of course, I will keep you posted every board, and then, of course, even if it's organizing events, so probably real events. I mean, live events, not only just online meeting, just live events on concerts, on whatsoever. Because file sharing basically it should involve musicians, young people, a lot of people that can really sign for this initiative. That's it from my side.
That's great. Well, I think we, or like I have the feeling we cannot do too much here unless you guys provide us like content. So we are just like waiting for yeah, as it is prepared, or like should we be of some should we have some opportunity to support it like we should do? But for now we are I don't know what how to move forward.
No, for sure. I will keep you posted because when we have something to spread, I will just put it on the table. So
good. So yeah, I think we kind of like made the first two points regarding the registration. Or like, is it fine? Like, can I move to the point 3? No one objects that, so it looks that we can go. Regarding the registration of the party, I believe we need 2 things, and they are actually interconnected. We need to do some statute changes. That's necessary in order to get the party registered, because our current statutes are not really suitable for European level party. There has to be some changes done, like in terms of like how the auditing chambers are how the auditing is being done, and such bureaucratic issues. That's first part, and the second part that has to be solved. We need to find an agreement with some partners to do so, which means we need first the partners, and second, we need to have mutual understanding with them that certain version of statutes will be acceptable for us as well as for them, and then we need to approve those statutes by council, which I believe means that we should organize kind of like meeting with those partners during, I would say, September or October, in order to clarify those issues, so that we are able to propose the statute change for the November council meeting. If you got my point. I hope so.
As far as I remember,
Yeah.
in the last council meeting in Milano, we agreed already to have something like a statutes group to renew the statutes, as they are very complicated. This at least was spoken at the council meeting. I don't know if there's also a formal decision on this, but as far as I remember, we already have the mandate to create or to do something in this thing to bring the statutes once again a little bit more in line.
Well, I think there's no formal resolution on that issue. I know that it was discussed, and I know that Flory was willing to coordinate the statutes group. But to be honest, I'm not really sure whether or how far this initiative moved forward. Which means, we should coordinate that issue. I mean, like the statutes are like great. There are a lot of things over there. Maybe some things could be like simplified. But in general, I would try to stay as minimalistic as possible. I just would prefer to clarify all this respective stuff that is written there that could be problematic. Because at the end of the day, we cannot the resulting legal entity call neither ASBL or Luxembourgish whatsoever was there as an NGO. This type of things has to be clear. So we can of course do some additional statute changes to simplify that, but I would try it as to keep it as simple as possible, rather than just do too complicated change and then get stuck in the council meeting, because people would not be happy with the subsequent changes that were not really necessary for the registration of the party.
Well, the way I know it, if there's a group of people working on it and they're looking a little bit in front of what will be expected in the council meeting, it always will be good to have 2 versions. A small one, right, only minimalistic, necessary, and something plus if the council wants or not wants.
Yeah, true.
May I say-
That's something.
Yeah, if I can say a word, I think that, in my opinion, when we are thinking about changing something or just generally speaking, doing something, the main relevant point is the purpose. Purpose, it's important. As far as I understand, the idea that was born in last council meeting in Milan and was taken by Fleury, as you know, just let me say spokesperson or just the first mover, was not only to simplify but also more democratic structure and more inclusive structure and whatsoever. That is actually can be great, but as far as I understand right now, we need to just create a statutes that can fulfill two major purposes. The first is to be to let our European Pirate Party can be recognized as a European party. Okay, so probably I don't know, but probably there are some rules that our status needs to respect. And the second point is that to be recognized, because to be recognized, we need partners that are not pirate parties. Actually, we need to manage this in our statuses, because right now we didn't manage this solution as far as I understand. So that doesn't mean that we cannot do both things, but in my opinion, if we want to achieve the first goal to be recognized as a European party at European level, this should be, of course, it has to be a working group on the status changes, but the working group has to have some purposes. And first, to be approved, I mean, then in next council meeting in November. So that doesn't mean, of course, to exclude all those people who want to renovate or to just make our organization, let's say, more open, more wise, more modern, more whatsoever. But purposes are important. Without this, we risk to have a lot of work, even good work, but that doesn't fit our basic need. That's my point.
Mm. That's very good point. That's very good point. First thing first. That's a good principle. Well, like anyway, we cannot solve it here and now. What is probably important that we should have a discussion with the partners and kind of like try to find a solution how to make possible the registration. Which brings me to the second part. We need to have this discussion with the other partners, and that means we need to identify the possible partners and clarify with them what are their needs, expectations, and so on. I think we have had some two parties that could be like considered relevant for that. Like they were present to the last council meeting. That there was also a party which probably will not that much agree on us, agree with us on the goals. But well, that's the life. That sometimes people do disagree and take different ways. But
of course,
there are two parties we should maybe discuss more, and we need to discuss further. So now the question is how to proceed. What is maybe what would be useful would we kind of like have a let's say further research on those two parties. I know that in case of the Belgian one, Sven Clément is in quite like good contact with them because they cooperated already. The second one is should be maybe checked by someone of the board if it is fine. I don't know whether someone wants to do so, and we need to discuss with further partners. I think I can try to find some partners within the European Parliament, because there are definitely some non-inscript parties who could possibly find some who could seek for partners to cooperate. I don't know. I know that there were some possible partners being mentioned in the previous board meetings that are elected somewhere in Spain. Am I correct? Exile.
I can't remember actually, but
Just a moment, please. Got a phone call here.
Yeah.
so basically, I mean, because I saw that Gamitra just wrote in the chat.
Sorry.
He will be she will probably join us, but I don't know what else we have to discuss.
Sorry, Mikuláš, you asked me, but I just was searching here on the one side. I was searching the minutes of the council meeting in Milano, because regarding this issue of further partners, we made a decision on this Milano council meeting to search and to develop contacts with further possible members. What I didn't get clear is we should, well, on the one side, Sven Clément will have a chat with the Belgians, okay? And you told me about this Madeira guy, which is Portugal, to have a check on this party. What will mean a check on this party? And isn't it, nonetheless, what more we can say than he presented himself in the last council meeting or in the last board meeting?
Yeah, I'm not really sure whether this presentation was sufficient for the council to have a vote in future on their membership. Is it? Or because I'm pretty sure that Luxembourgish pirates are quite capable to provide sufficient information on the Belgium DeFi, because they are quite in contact, as I've learned. So, and Belgian pirates hopefully as well, if they will be active. So this is not a big deal. I think that the last council was quite a nice showcase that actually, when there was a party which was probably a little bit complicated to analyze from, let's say, outside, within Austria, it was quite easily identified by German pirates that there are actually some things which are not really in line with pirate ideas. So I think that I would say that was kind of a good check, and I'm wondering whether, I don't know, maybe Catalonian pirates should maybe investigate on those Madeira people, because I don't know, like how the language similarities allow that, or like the cultural ties that. But I have no one better to ask to really like solidify that this is a suitable partner for us, and we want to have further cooperation with them. We want to offer them further cooperation. That's basically what we are talking about.
Please send me the link for the party, and something like what are the questions you would like to know. Well, speaking wise, Portugal and Spain is not out of the world. It's like Italy and Spain. There should be a way.
I will send you the link after the meeting. But well, okay. Let's clarify it. We will probably have a discussion in the council meeting, which I think for that particular vote, we should have someone, so to say, as a reporter. Let's say someone who will be able to provide like information. Those are nice people, or those are not nice people, or whatsoever. But will be able to provide more information to the council. So I think that there should usually, like for the law or for whatsoever proposal in the parliament or wherever, you have someone as a reporter. So I think there should be some reporter for the council meeting discussion, if you understand me. So I would say like what would be, from my point of view, reasonable, should you maybe or someone from Catalonian Pirates serve as a reporter for that case, if it makes sense to you.
Well, I'm a little bit skeptic, as you're noticing. For me, it's first to do the step with the statutes, and then really going into the partners. I see a big problem in if this not is prepared right during the summer. We have invited some guests from other parties, and we fail in giving them then a membership stake.
I do understand that. My idea was because yeah, there is another problem. Like, should we spend too much time just by discussing about how to go further? We will subsequently lose the partners because they also need to move forward, which means like they cannot wait until we finish all the processes. And that's why I would like to do it a little bit in faster way, and same time I think it is good for them to have a say in the statute changes process, because should they expect from the statute change something that is really like deal breaker for them and would provide us opportunity to move forward, I would like to have the discussion in the council taking it into account.
Yeah, I totally agree, because we cannot expect from our partners just to serve them a cooked dish. We need in such a way, if not their fundamental contribution, at least expectations. It's like a little marriage, even if we, of course, the council will have to approve it, and the council, in our decision, is the only one who have in charge to make any status changes. But we shouldn't exclude them and do the status changes first, regardless of our partners. Partners first, status changes later. That's my opinion. And I also agree that reporter for a single specific partner should be mother tongue and originally from the country where our partner come from, because I really can do my best to understand the situation in Catalonia. I have a lot of friends there, but I'm not native. I don't know the language and I don't know the situation from years, not even from now. But I can tell you perfectly the politics history since 1980 in Italy. You know what I mean?
There is a little issue, and the issue is that actually we usually do not have anyone in the country we are discussing with as a country of our partners, for natural reasons, because we are trying to find people,
of course, and in that
preferably
case,
in the other countries.
of course. But when we have something, we should use it, and when we don't have, of course, we can just do our best to do it as it's at board level, at our MEP level, and whatever, you know. It's just we will put in place whatever we have.
Well, there are there are like two options which came to my mind before when I thought about like having this discussion. One of the options was I will do it as an MEP. That's possible. The other option was let's take someone. Let's take the only ones who we have in the Iberian Peninsula, and that means Catalonian pirates, because effectively in Iberian Peninsula we have no one else so far I know. We could ask for help with this discussion. So the Catalonians are actually the only ones, you know, and that's why I'm asking Exile, like being member of Catalonian Pirate Party. But I can understand, I can imagine, for example, Dario could do this little bit investigation and make it really solid for the other members that this is a good decision.
Well, on the one side, I see your point, and there will be a meeting this evening still of the Pirates of Catalonia, and I will forward this, of course, to the international section. Nonetheless, what I heard from the Catalan pirates regarding possible partners is that you have to understand they're coming from another point of view. They are in a coalition with a partner, and we made forwards also a coalition with a partner which was not very good, and this time pressure you're putting on it. Hey, look, people will search their ways. You have to understand also the argument. Bringing a partner in which not will be the right one, it will be very difficult to get him out once again. Then, yeah. So we have to look and to do our work good if we introduce partners into our European network.
You are absolutely right at that point. I'm pretty much aware that we are here little bit playing with the fire, but I hope we will manage. We will do it properly. But that means we really need to do it in a solid way, which means we really need the information. And I know that Catalans were in a coalition with some partners somewhere, but I do not know any details, to be honest. So that's why I'm discussing that, and hoping that you guys could like bring something forward. Yeah, that's it.
Well, but to put it once again right, what you're expecting is somebody who's looking at the program of this party and check if it's compatible with pirate aims.
Yeah, I would say look into the program of that party to check whether it is compatible with us. Plus, let's say look into the local media and find out whether there were any corruption scandals, anything like that.
Is important.
Yeah, and anything of importance.
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, you cannot really prevent that in future some party will get spoiled and completely like messes our values. And I think also the pirate parties, in fact, cannot be really immune to this effect. Like sometimes it happens that a party gets infiltrated by wrong people, and at the end of the day, you have to decide those people are really like going in different way from us, and we don't want to work with them. That can in principle happen everywhere, which means like you always need to be prepared for this situation. But the maximum we can do in our current situation is let's check whether there are no signs of such a development in case of our partners we are discussing with. If there will be no signs of such a development, then fine, let's go further. If there will be signs, then yeah, it's for the discussion.
As spoken, I will forward this.
Guys, I saw that Katla has something for the point number 5 because I don't want to hurry you up, but I'm running a bit out of time. If we can move forward to the point number 5, because Katla has something to add to the point number 5, and then we can just say, I don't know, because of course you can stay without me. Of course, you don't have to close because I have to go, but literally.
I think we have finished actually the point 3, and we can go.
Sorry. Because I thought that we already discussed the point 4, but maybe only with you, Mikuláš.
Yeah, we only discussed the point 4. So like I don't know whether you want to reopen it.
No, absolutely, it's fine for me.
So reopen or postpone? Postpone. Okay. So I think point 3 finished. Point 4 postponed. Point 5. Any other business?
Hi.
Hey.
I am just going to copy this over here. I can also put this in the document, blah, 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 the minutes if you want. But yeah, it's pretty much just try to change the meeting time because this doesn't seem to be working for a lot of people. In 2 weeks, for example, both Octavia and I will be away at a wedding, so we won't be here in 2 weeks. And it just seems like, the last time there was a meeting, I forgot because it's Sunday and it's days off. So I forget a lot on Sundays, but it just seems that I'm not the only one that is having problems with this meeting time.
I would say we have had a discussion with Alessandro before the meeting started, and just to be clear on that, that actually it makes not too much sense to have many meetings during the holiday time, because actually people are having holidays, which means not work too much for the party. That means there is not too much to discuss within the board meetings, and same time it is a problem to get people to the table. So I'm wondering whether we should postpone our next meeting to, let's say, end of August, or do something like that, or middle of August, because yeah, as you said, like you have something to do, Okta has something to do in 2 weeks, so on. And I bet there will be not many things to discuss on the table. What you think about?
I think it's a good idea to just take like a summer vacation for the board, but at the same time, the members of the Code of Conduct Council have been contacting me and asking about the emails.
Please tell them that I will gladly create them emails. I just need their emails plus
Yeah, I mean,
that's the only thing.
and because like the last time that I was on a meeting, I told you I would contact Gamitra and ask if she could take over this role, and she said yes. So I expected her to have contacted you, but that maybe that hasn't happened, or
That hasn't happened.
okay,
That
I
hasn't
see.
happened.
So, but Gamitra said she would happily take over that role if you would teach her how to do it. So you can put yourself
Well,
in touch with her and put yourself, or both of you can put your in touch with the people in the Code of Conduct Council, because I don't see the sense in me being a middle person there when I'm not going to be making these emails.
okay, then
You know.
I just need to coordinate with Gamitra that this should
Yeah, I think that's better instead of me being here like, oh, this person said that or something.
Yep.
Yeah, regarding the meeting times, I'll leave it to you, Mikulas, to, I don't know, maybe just make a proposal, or should we, or whatever. I just want to point this out that, you know, the Sunday nights seem to not be working very well.
Well, I'm absolutely fine to move that to some other day, but I would prefer to have a discussion with the other board members. Like we can definitely reopen that if there is this request. I guess it will be hard to find a day in the week which will be perfectly fitting for everyone in the board. We are simply too big board for that purpose. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, if you agree, I would suggest that we make summer holiday for the board, and when the holiday finish, we will have the discussion about like what will be the regular days for board meetings, let's say in person.
I agree as well. I think it's good.
Yeah. Okay. Then let's do it that way, because I really see no other way how to do it for everyone to be convenient. Hello, Gamitra.
Hi.
Gamitra, hi. Nice
Hi,
to see you.
Gamitra.
By the way, Mikulas, regarding this point to have no board meetings until end of August. Well, I was just thinking in Madrid, in Gamitra, she proposed last time to have a little more of informal meetings, or to make a little bit stronger the contact between the human contact between the whole board. And I'm quite a bit afraid if we're not trying to formalize and to study beyond this contact until end of August, everybody will have forgotten what we're spoken about now, you know, and we're starting the new thing once again. I don't see it clear.
I see. Well, that's a bit contradicting. Okay, I would say we can have informal contacts more regular, but let's not call the meetings to be kind of like formal.
No, that's totally okay. What I'm looking for is a conversation between the board. You know, if this on Mattermost, if this on Signal, if this on Jitsi, I don't bother.
Yeah, I do absolutely agree. But you know how it worked last time, like when we have had this discussion that there should be an informal discussion. We were there alone, you and me. So I would be happy to have an informal discussion, but I hope that like some people will come to such a discussion.
Well, perhaps this is the point that we have to understand. Also, it hurts that certain people are interested in certain things and in other not. And although we only were two speaking, I also have the feeling the one you just told us. I'm sorry, the last meeting I wasn't there. This was also a great meeting. Uh, Also, there are only two, three, four of us. We can things forward somehow.
Yeah, okay, like I absolutely agree, and that's actually like how we started. Like we originally started with Alessandro today, considering this meeting to be informal and just like to exchange views. I'm happy that we at the end gathered in such a number. We could actually we are actually now 5 here. That's great. So yeah, I would definitely love to have some informal meetings. I don't know, like any preferred way how to do so. I don't know, some pirate beer in the middle of summer or something like that. A pirate beer.
Yeah, like a board beer, or something like that. Like PPU board beer.
PPU
think,
board
like,
beer.
I think with the informal one, I don't remember when the last one was, but I think one approach that will work is that actually contact every single person before the meeting and ask them what time would suit them, and like kind of make sure they try to be there, so everyone knows about it and everyone's kind of like personally been approached and personally invited to it as well. I think like that kind of touch has been missing for so far, or like no one's kind of I don't want to say like chasing everyone else to do something, but also like kind of personally reminding of events and meetings, if you get what I mean. But I don't know who should have that responsibility, but if like anyone's up for taking it, that would be cool. Just kind of like poke everyone before the meeting, make sure they attend.
Mm. Yay, that would be definitely possible. But okay, how do we do so? Like, should we have this meeting sometime in next weeks? I don't know, like what you prefer, or
I think we could try at least. I mean, it would be great just to cultivate our our channels. Let's say not on a daily basis, but if we just talk in our channel, let's say Mattermost, for instance, or Signium, just to keep us alive, then maybe we could realize which is the best way to do this. It could be, for instance, that we have, I don't know, the Tuesdays. It's the PPU Tuesdays. That means that we have we know that it's like we can have a lot of ways to do this. We can have just informal last minute because actually nobody is blocking us for just having a Jitsi meeting, or even just let's say, hey, I want to talk about this. Who is free tonight? And say nobody is free. Okay, never mind. I will talk to my dog, right? But if there are even two people, we can just have two people, or we can just have like a recurring event that is not a formal event where we know that it's like an open bar. We go there and we know that we're there, and if nobody is showing up, nothing. Okay, never mind. But if you want to show up, for instance, Jitsi is like, it's perfect for this because you just join at the time you want and just say, okay, I'm here from, let's say, from 9, I don't know, from 10. You join, you participate in the discussion, or and we can just experiment what kind of way is suitable for us. I think that starting from just ping us on, not on a daily basis. We're not lovers. We have all our lives to live. but at least to ping us. So hey, I mean, what's happening? I'm interested in what's happening into the fucking nowhere where Gamitra is. For instance, I don't know. I'm just kidding. Or if Exile will have another lockdown because I'm waiting for Russian women. So from Russia. So actually, I'm really scared about another lockdown. I will fight for it. Just things, because we are humans and we need to get involved also for not strictly related matters. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Gamita would like to speak, so I shut up.
Yeah, I really like this idea. Like, just kind of like drop like a hangout, like just hang out today and just whatever comes, but just like to have that space of like potentially communicating, just chatting about things. Like, I'd love to talk about this space and everything. I don't know if you've used Discord, but that is perfect for communication like this because you've got all the like channel. It's like basically like Mattermost, right? Or basically like Slack. You've got all the like direct messages and you've got channels where you speak, but you've also got voice channels. You can just jump on them, and like people often just hang out on the voice channels while they do something else, and it's really easy to just like see who's currently in a video chat. And I've been spending like most of my time for the past couple of weeks just on like video voice chat with quite random people because it makes it so easy to just hang out with other people, like just in a virtual room, and just hop on it whether you see someone in the room. And I've made like some really good new friends through Discord just in the last couple of weeks, just because of that feature. And I think like something like that would be really awesome. Like we just have that space where we can like virtually meet right next to our chat. So like whenever it's like someone is discussing something, you can just jump on the call. Or if you don't want to move platforms, because I don't think we should move platforms because we already got 2 platforms, we can kind of try to integrate that culture of like, oh, let's jump on a hangout or let's jump on Jitsi. Kind of try to do that more. And kind of try to push that. So we're probably not going to move. But just I think that's like a feature. It's been life-changing for me that I've found through Discord. Just kind of jumping on random meetings, and they're not like meetings. They're just hangouts. They're just like channels you jump on, like messaging, but you actually see each other. I think we really need that. Yeah, that's it.
Hmm.
I want to say.
Well, yeah, that's the always the same problem. Like we are all living on different platforms, and there is no like holy grail platform where we would all meet together. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Like, if I'm reading the commands properly, there would be an idea to create something spontaneously, just like inviting people in next weeks. Would that be the plan?
Yeah, let's do something like whenever someone is feeling up for it, let's just do it with like a couple of hours, like with a couple of hours notice. Like, tonight I'm just gonna hang out on Jitsi. Let's make like a Jitsi room that everyone knows. Like, I don't know, meet.partidopirata.it like /PPU hangout, something like that. Something memorable. And then we just always kind of jump on it. We don't have to plan it out, I think. And just whoever feels
Well, like let's do that. I would say that's no big deal. Just like I think either writing to the board chat or maybe the town square in Mattermost. I have a time. Let's meet in Jitsi. I think it's fine, isn't it? Or
Yeah, it is.
yeah, okay. So it's your turn, so to say, to call people. Good. I don't know. Is there any other business we should discuss apart of we need a beer?
Just a short one. What I've forgotten in the point with registering as a European party, if there's a possibility for a Bristol paper which
paper.
afterwards has to be signed by the members of the parliament of CUP Catalonia to be a representative of Pirates of Catalonia here in Madrid. I would be very glad to have this letter. So I would
Well,
forward this down and sign it.
if I'm correct, what is actually needed is just the statutes of the organization plus IDs of those representatives. So you just like need to scan the IDs, and that's it. If I'm correct. So there is no specific paper as far as I know.
Thank you.
If I'm correct, yeah. Or actually, yeah, there is also a need for registration form, but that has to be filled just once for all the respective for the whole organization. So no big deal actually. I think at certain point we will just need their scanned documents. That's it.
So there's no urgency. That's okay.
Yeah. If so, then yeah, I would say it's no big deal. They just need to agree on and support the organization.
So guys, it's getting dark even in Italy.
Same here. So I guess we solved whatsoever we needed to solve, and we will meet next time. I would say in the second half of August. And meanwhile, there will be holidays and a beer organized by Gamitra.
Great.
Great.
Yeah, we will keep posted until then, right? Not just say goodbye, happy holiday to everyone, right?
Yeah. Let's stay posted. Yeah. Great then.
Okay,
So-
great. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for tonight.
Thanks.
Bye.
See you.
Thanks
Bye.
everybody. I will stop the YouTube streaming.